Hello everyone, it's Muir here from Manitoba Orchestra Chapter with your Tuesday tip. And I just want to remind you today of some of the oldies but goodies. And as I've been telling people in my division, I found that some of the things that I was using last year that are core to my program are still very, very usable. And in particular, I'm talking about Gameplan by Jeff Krisky and Randy DeLau. Don't forget these core oldie but goodies. And also too, I've been finding music play, a few activities there too that transfer really well. So I know many of you have perhaps done this already, but today I just want to encourage those of you that are still looking for new ideas to maybe go back and look for some old ideas and modify those. So let me just tell you a few things that I've been doing from each of the grade levels. As you know, Gameplan is full of body percussion, games, movement, response to music. So lots of things that you can still be doing as individuals in a physically distanced classroom. I'll start with the very first unit in the kindergarten book, which is one of my favorites. It's called Going to the Farm, all about farm animals. Again, lots of movement that children can do individually, lots of playing of instruments if you have a classroom set. A lot of these ones happen to be instruments that wipe down really well if you do have that time between classes or at recess to just quickly wipe down. Lummy sticks, tambourines, mallets and woodblocks, things like that. This is a general rule for most of these songs, is that because they're short and very melodic, you can easily transform them to speak and hum, which is our version of singing during this COVID year. So it would be, going to the farm, we're going to the farm. Wonder what we'll see today, we're going to the farm. Then ask them, of course, can you hear the words in the humming? And of course, because the rhythm is so clear, they do. So the main point I wanted to make was that if you can get that flow between speak first and then hum with playing or hum with actions and get several consecutively, it's still a satisfying musical experience. Hear the wood blocks, quietly they play. Hear the wood blocks, this is what they say. Hear the triangles, quietly they play. Hear the triangles, this is what they say. And so on. And we've got into quite a little groove with that too. So it can be very satisfying that way. Moving on to grade 1. And you're thinking, oh, I miss my solfege, I miss my singing. Again, I found that you can still do a lot of preparatory work with solfege, with somi, with high-low, with our speak, hum structure. Normally it's teddy bear, turn around, teddy bear, touch the ground. Break it down again so that it is word first and then action with the humming. Teddy bear, turn around. Teddy bear, touch the ground. And then you can talk about the humming part of being high, low. And we have done the same games. Put your hands up when you hear high. Put your hands down when you say low. So you can still do lots of games with just humming, getting your solfege in, getting your high and low in. And then when you come to actually perform it as a little piece, you just need to add in the words before. And then always challenging them. When you hear the humming, can you hear the words in the humming? And that, I think, is a skill often that will be very helpful whether or not we have to give up our singing for the year. I'm thinking of 2 things from the grade 3 level in particular that transfer really well to non-pitch percussion would be shake them bones, for example. So it would look like this. Shake, shake, shake them bones. Yeah, shake, shake, shake them them bones. Yeah, shake, shake, shake them bones at the hip hop Halloween ball. Now, of course, nothing can replace the lovely melodic bass line of xylophones. So for a lot of this, I'm finding that if I have something melodic to accompany or some other music, a recorded music, then doing just percussion type things all the time is not so limited. They're still getting that experience of melodic. And of course, it doesn't have to be just melodic accompaniment as well to spice things up. If you play drums, then it would maybe sound something more like this. Shake, shake, shake them bones. Yeah, shake, shake, shake them bones. Yeah, shake, shake, shake them bones at the hip hop Halloween ball. Shake, shake, shake them bones. And so on. So great if you have a couple of barred instruments that you can move around the room, but if you don't, here's another one from Gameplan 3, Hill and Gully Rider. So you probably know it goes, Hill and Gully Rider, Hill and Gully Rider, and they have to play on those 4 quarter notes in between. So long story short, by the time they've got it, you can add yourself. You would be playing bass bar as usual, and I've just substituted my bass bar here today with sticks on the back of a chair. So after you've worked through the different layers that they were doing and their improvisation, when you're playing it through again, it's still quite satisfying. And so on. And there are lots of charts with play-along music in Gameplan 3, body percussion charts, either to music or not to music, team games, team body percussion, lots of that still right there in Gameplan 3. So then we go on to Gameplan 4 and 5. There it gets more challenging because we've gotten into recorder playing. So less to do in grades 4 and 5, I would say, and time to move on to some other materials that I found. Again, oldies but goodies. Artie Almeida, Parachutes and Ribbons and Scarves, oh my, which are listening lessons with movement props. So again, most of these could be done individually, so that there's no touching. A lot of them can be modified. Another great resource by Artie is Kid Sticks, but you would have to collect this. You would have to collect those large cans, coffee cans or spaghetti sauce cans, pasta sauce, small tambourines, and a board. I used really old music books that will never be used again as just flat boards for that as well, and drumsticks or some other kind of sticks. But what she's doing in Kid Sticks is going, it's again listening activities, listening and playing activities. So here you can see literacy happening. She's got charts with the different instruments and how they play along to a wide selection of classical pieces that she's chosen that are really energetic, lots of fun, and I've used it from grade 3 to grade 6, so it's got a wide span of usefulness. So that's Artie Almeida's Kid Sticks, as well as Parachutes, etc. Another really great resource that I've been going back to is called Poetic License by Shea. This is a beginner's composition program, I would say, based on poems. So you're given a poem, that's the rhythms put out there for you as well. The children learn the poem. So great A, little A, bouncing B, the cat's in the cupboard and can't see me. And then you transfer that to 3 notes or 5 notes. I've chosen 3 notes because they're just beginning. It could be 5 notes. And gradually, as you progress through the book, by the end, you are using all 7 notes of a diatonic scale. And I've tried this now. I'm trying this with my grade 5s on laptops because we are lucky enough to have access to a class set of laptops in the music room. I have 30 of them in there, 30 or 32 of them at a time. So I am really keen to use laptops as substitutes for instruments, since I have been managing to spread out instruments for a lot of them. But of course, that's a real challenge for a lot of people. So if you have access to computers, there are many great computer programs out there. I'm checking out Band Lab right here that we heard about too, Chrome Lab, lots of other things like that. But again, this is completely simple, and it's just using the laptop as an online keyboard. That's it. Just so that they can hear those 3 notes or 5 notes that they're picking. So it's very simple. You don't have to learn how to use any computer program. You just have to know how to log into an online keyboard. And I've been using onlinepianist.com. It has a nice wide keyboard. So that's what I've been using, just so that they have a keyboard on their laptop that they can work through this book. And I would really like to remind you of some other golden oldies, our Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra Teacher's Guides that have been produced for years now, many, many years. That's part of a program that we're very lucky to have here in Winnipeg, for those of you who might be looking from outside of Winnipeg. For those of you in Winnipeg, go back to these. Find a colleague that has one. These are listening activities for student concerts that are put on every year by the Symphony. And this guide is sent out for the whole program of usually 12 pieces that are performed for the students, and great listening activities to prepare the kids for that concert and just to make it more meaningful for them. And I just randomly opened this first one that I found. Here's Polician Dance with Sticks. It's got, of course, you'd have to find an online recording for this, but it's got a word chart explaining, describing how it might sound, and the children can add to that or talk about that word list. It talks using paper plates to keep the beat on this. I've used actually rhythm sticks to actually choreograph a dance using sticks in partners as well. You can do the structure of the dance as well. And of course, there are great listening lines or listening charts that go with a lot of these as well. We've had some fabulous presenters here too, of just great ideas for listening exercises. And most of these are things like movement or responding to the chart, the form chart, or easily adaptable to physical distancing. Not a whole lot of just direct instrument playing other than recorder. So I really recommend that you go back to these golden oldies as well. And if you don't have one, maybe borrow one from your colleague. So that's it from me. Just a reminder, golden oldies there. Things that have worked in the past, easily transferable if you just think of it a little bit differently, and expand that melodic line a little bit to speak, hum, and it's wonderful how the two just come together with children, even though they're doing them separately in any given performance. So I hope that's helpful, and hope it encourages you to keep plugging away at a lot of those core things that we do, those golden oldies, to embrace the fact that we get so much more rhythm, especially if we can supplement that with recordings, and also to not to despair about not singing, to just enjoy how we can still do a lot of preparatory work with our humming when it's integrated into the things that we're already doing. So thanks, and have a happy Tuesday.